So I was at a party with one of my friends, and he was a magician, and he challenged me to a poker game, knowing that I was another magician as well. So he handed me his deck of cards and told me to open it, and I did. And he told me to give it a quick shuffle, which I quickly did, as best as I could. And then he asked me to deal down the cards. And just before I was about to deal down, he asked me to deal his cards face up. And I was super confused, but I did it anyway. So I dealt his cards face up and mine face down. And I saw slowly that he was getting a royal flush in hearts, which really annoyed me because I went through a lot of work to get also a royal flush in hearts. Then I accused him of cheating. I said that these cards are from a different pack. And then gladly he turned them over to prove that they were blue. I was like, see, I told you they were from a different pack. Then he asked me to turn mine over. I was like, okay, they're green. Then he asked me to turn the entire deck over, which actually ended up being completely blue. Frustrated, I asked him to another match. This time I pulled out my own deck of cards. It was like, I'd like to see you cheat with these. And I pulled them out, and he said, wait, hand me those cards first. And I gave him those cards and just quickly looked through them. He did nothing suspicious and just handed them back. And then he said, first shuffle them. Once again, I did so. Just before I was about to shuffle them, he told me, face up and face down, which made things a lot more challenging. And I love challenges, so I agreed. I started to shuffle the cards face up and face down. I pushed the cards in together, just like that. They were going in, face up and face down. Just like that. And then I said, I bet that I can find all 4 aces with just 3 cuts. And he was like, okay. And I did it. That was the first ace, right after 3 cuts. And then he said, do it again. And I was like, sure thing. And I cut the cards 3 times and I landed once again at another ace. Then he said, I don't believe you, do it one more time. He seemed to get a little bit flustered and watched me do it one more time as I landed at another ace. And quickly, he took the cards out of my hand and he said, I can do that too. And he, once again, just like I did, cut the cards 3 times, but this time landed at a queen. He looked at me sadly and put the cards down. And then he said, you know what? I'm a magician. I'm going to change this card. And seeing how sad he was, I was like, sure, you can do that. And he took this card, he turned it over, and he did the most suspicious thing of all time. And then when he turned the card over, it was still a queen. But then he looked at me smugly and said, I didn't say which cards I was going to change. And he took the queen and flipped over the other 3 cards, which ended up being the other 3 queens. And I told him, you know what, I can do one better. Remember how the cards were face up and face down? I bet that I can, just with a snap, turn them all face up again. He didn't believe me, so I spread the deck, and all cards were face up except for 4 cards, which ended up being my 4 aces. Then once again, he looked at me and accused me of cheating. And I was like, how? He said they were from a different pack of cards again. And I showed them that all the cards were red. Then he took the cards out of my hand and showed me that all the cards were indeed not red.